Welcome to the Fight Faction Boxing Quiz. Every day we post a boxing quiz, 10 questions designed to exercise your brain. Your rival for this quiz, the co-host of the Fight Faction Boxing Podcast, Aiden The Brain Thomas. Please be warned, this quiz is not for part-timers. You will really need to know your stuff if you want to stand any hope of beating Aiden. The formula is simple. You get 10 questions and you get 1 point for each correct answer. Check the description in this video to see what title your overall score gets you. The format is simple. All you need is a pen and a piece of paper. I will run through the questions and then at the end give the answers. You tally up your scores and post them in the comments, and who knows, you could be invited to challenge Aiden on a future show. So, what are you waiting for? Let's go. Hi guys, welcome to today's quiz. Today we're going to focus on the welterweight division. So I'm going to get straight to it. Question 1. Who was the first fighter from the UK to win the welterweight world championship? Who was the first fighter from the UK to win the welterweight world championship? Question 2. Don Curry was the undisputed welterweight champion for 10 months during the 80s, losing all 3 belts to Lloyd Honeyghan in an upset. But before that, who did he beat to become the undisputed champion in 1985? Don Curry was the undisputed welterweight champion for 10 months during the 80s, losing all 3 belts to Lloyd Honeyghan in an upset. But before that, who did he beat to become the undisputed champion in 1985? Question 3. After beating Don Curry, Lloyd Honeyghan would soon vacate the WBA title due to political reasons. There would not be another undisputed title fight for 17 years. Who were the 2 fighters that fought for the undisputed welterweight championship in 2003? After beating Don Curry, Lloyd Honeyghan would soon vacate the WBA title due to political reasons. There would not be another undisputed title fight for 17 years. Who were the 2 fighters that fought for the undisputed welterweight championship in 2003? Question 4. Marlon Starling lost his WBA welterweight title in his 3rd defense against Colombian Tomas Molinares, despite the fight being declared a no contest. What happened? Marlon Starling lost his WBA welterweight title in his 3rd defense against Colombian Tomas Molinares, despite the fight being declared a no contest. What happened? Question 5. True or false? Former 2-time welterweight champion Mark Breland had 9 world title fights, but he never beat an American fighter in any of them. True or false? Former 2-time welterweight champion Mark Breland had 9 world title fights, but he never beat an American fighter in any of them. Question 6. Who has the record for the longest reign as a welterweight champion? Who has the record for the longest reign as a welterweight champion? Question 7. Who was the first Olympic gold medalist to become a professional welterweight world champion? Who was the first Olympic gold medalist to become a professional welterweight world champion? Floyd Mayweather won all 4 major sanctioning body championships in the welterweight division. Some belts he won multiple times throughout his run, but he never held all 4 at the same time. Which fighters did he beat the first time he won each belt? Floyd Mayweather won all 4 major sanctioning body championships in his welterweight run. Some belts he won multiple times throughout, but he never held all 4 at the same time. Which fighters did he beat the first time he won each belt? Question 9. Who was Sugar Ray Leonard scheduled to fight in 1982 when he discovered in training that he had a detached retina and retired for the first time? Who was Sugar Ray Leonard scheduled to fight in 1982 when he discovered in training that he had a detached retina and retired for the first time? And the last question. Although he is considered an all-time welterweight great, Sugar Ray Leonard only won 6 world welterweight title fights. Can you name 4 of the 6 fighters he beat in championship bouts? Although he is considered an all-time welterweight great, Sugar Ray Leonard only won 6 world welterweight title fights. Can you name 4 of the 6 fighters he beat in championship bouts? So there's your 10 question, guys. We'll be back in about 30 seconds where I'll provide the answers. Guys, welcome back. I hope you've got your answers in order. I'm going to run through the questions once more and give you the answers. Question 1 was, who was the first fighter from the UK to win the welterweight world championship?
I can't even remember. I might take a stab in the dark. Was it I don't know, Terry McGovern?
Ted Kid Lewis in 1916. I thought you'd get that one.
I know, I've been talking about him for a while, but yeah, was he the guy who had the rivalry with Jack Britton? Yeah, 20 fights, wasn't he? Yeah, 20 fights. So this guy, Ted Kid Lewis, is worth researching because he's got 20-fight rivalry with Jack Britton. Even though I had the question wrong.
Swap belts, didn't he? Yeah. Number 2, Don Curry was the undisputed welterweight champion for 10 months during the 80s, losing all 3 belts to Lloyd Hannigan in an upset. But before that, who did he beat to become the undisputed champion in 1985? So it was a unification fight. This
is a fight everybody should watch on YouTube. He fought Milton McCrory. One of the best knockouts.
Second round knockout.
It also shows a shorter guy fighting a tall guy getting inside him.
Yeah, was that a big fight then? Were you aware that was happening?
I think Colin Jones could have had one of those fights, one of those wins, because I don't know which one it was. I went in when he won in the fight. But those fights are good, weren't they, Colin Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite a big fight.
Well, there's the next question, bouncing off Don Curry. After beating Don Curry, Lloyd Hannigan would soon vacate his WBA title due to political reasons. There would not be another undisputed title fight for 17 years. Who were the 2 fighters that fought for the undisputed welterweight championship in 2003? Now, I know who become. Before you answer, I knew who became the champion. I just didn't know who he beat to become the undisputed champion. When I researched this.
So, Corey Spinks became the undisputed champion with a victory over Ricardo Mayorga. So those 2.
Yeah. I would have never have remembered Ricardo Mayorga was the WBA and WBC champ.
No?
No.
Yeah, he beat Vernon Forrest in unification. And
I can see it when I went back. I was like, oh my God, yeah. But I would never have thought such a high-profile undisputed title fight would have been contested. Because he became something of a joke towards the end, didn't he? I didn't realize he was just one majority decision away from becoming an undisputed champion.
Yeah.
That's nuts. So, question 4 was Marlon Starlin lost his WBA welterweight title in his 3rd defense against Colombian Thomas Molinares, despite the fight being declared a no contest. What happened?
Molinares landed the punch after the bell, which knocked out Starlin, and then immediately declared champion. Then it became a no contest.
And then the New Jersey Boxing Commission changed the initial result of the knockout to no contest, but the WBA decided they would honour the original decision on the night. So, strange way to lose your title. On the record books, you said you never lost it. So
yeah, and also strange as well. You went straight into a title fight with Lloyd Hannigan, didn't he, Starlin?
Yeah. So, which is really weird. Question 5 was a true or false question. Former 2-time welterweight champion Mark Breland had won 9 world title fights, but he never beat an American fighter in any of them. True or false?
I seen him lose to Aaron Davis. I think it's false. I think so. It's true they didn't fight any Americans in his title fight victories.
Yes. The closest he come was a draw against Marlon Starlin. Isn't that mad that predominantly an American sort of like dominated division, he was a big name and he never beat an American in a world title fight.
Yeah, with only 3 belts, well, 3 to 4 belts. There was 3 belts at the time, wasn't it? I think Simon Brown was gunning for the IBF, so all the best fighters who'd fought Starling were tended to fight for the other belts. Yeah. Which left. But also, there was at the time, the WBC said whoever fights for the WBA title will be fighting for the WBC title for 2 years because it's something to do with apartheid.
Yeah, same reason Andy Gunn left the WBA.
Yeah, Breland fought Harold Volbrecht, who was obviously South African, who shouldn't have been fighting for the title, according to,
Oh, so that's probably why he never fought Americans, because the WBA title, a lot of people were taking political stances against then.
Only because of that Volbrecht fight. The thing was, if Volbrecht was number 1, you can't just take away his chance. Otherwise, you'd have ended up with a Graciano Rocchigani situation where he sues the governing body.
Yeah.
So he's blocking a hard place.
Question 6 was, who has the record for the longest reign as a welterweight champion?
You know what? This includes all the belts, doesn't it?
Any belt, yeah, as long as he's a welterweight champion. Who was the champion for longest in terms of years and months?
Do I get a clue? Is it recent or is it? I would have thought with the proliferation of world title fights, it'd be more recent.
Could be.
I don't think. Do you know what? I think I'll take a stab. Felix Trinidad.
Correct. 6 years and 8 months. Now, surprisingly, second on that list was Antonio Margarito with 5 years and 3 months.
Was he? Oh.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, Trinidad, he's the only guy I could think of with the longest reign in recent years. Before that, I couldn't think of anybody.
Yeah, no one went for much longer before that. And Trinidad's also got the record for like 15 defenses, which is a division record as well.
Right.
Question 7 was, who was the first Olympic gold medalist to become a professional welterweight world champion?
I have to probably guess that. I guess you're wrong now. I'll just say Sugar Ray Leonard.
No, Jackie Fields. He won. This was designed to stop you on a perfect run. He won the 1924 gold medal in the featherweight division and then became the welterweight champion in 1929 by beating Jack Thompson, although some governing bodies did not recognize him as champ until he defeated Joe Dundee later in the year. Right. But yeah, so but the answer to the first Olympic welterweight champion to become world welterweight champion was Mark Breland.
Was it?
Yeah. Because you tend to move up a division, don't you?
Oh, was it Mark Breland and Ray Leonard won? Oh, you mean one? Oh, yeah.
Welterweight, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because that fight you mentioned, Jackie, what's his name? Jackie Fields.
Yeah.
That guy you beat, Johnny Dundee, I'm not sure if he's related to Angela Dundee.
And cousin of Crocodile.
Right. But no, I'm sure around that time, that family, I'm sure they're related.
Yeah, well, the title had been splintered at that point because some recognised Jack Thompson and some recognised Joe Dundee. So he unified it all within a couple of months anyway, as Jackie Fields did.
Yeah.
And he was only 16 when he won the Olympic gold medal.
God, that's good.
Yeah, 5 years later, 21, become a welterweight champion. So question 8 was, I kind of messed this up in the questions part, is basically Floyd Mayweather, throughout his run as a welterweight champion, had held all 4 major sanctioning body championships. And some belts he won multiple times because of his retirements and stuff. But
yeah.
Which fighters did he beat for the first time he won each version of the belts?
Well, you know what? I've been looking at Mayweather's record the last few weeks. But it's something on there I wasn't really happy with. I don't know if it's a typo or whatever. But obviously he beat Pacquiao for the WBO belt. When he first won against Zab Judah for the IBF belt.
Yes. So WBC he beat.
Oh no, WBC Carlos Baldemir.
Yeah.
I remember that fight because he didn't really need to take it, but people said he had to take it because of the legacy thing. Because Baldemir beat Judah first, didn't he?
He was the lineal champion. Because the IBF title should not have been up for grabs when he fought Judah because he just lost to Baldemir, didn't he?
That's right. Yeah. But the other thing was, the WBA now for me is contentious because I thought it was Shane Mosley, and then he fought later on. Marcus Madana's victim. What's his name? That guy's. Do you know, I can't think of his guy's name. Wait a minute. I'm more thinking unless I can get it.
Yeah.
He's the guy who hit in the 5th round and he with a sucker punch, wasn't he?
Ortiz.
Victor Ortiz. So my way of thinking would have been he beat Mosley for the WBA belt because Mosley had beaten Antonio Margarito for the WBA belt.
That was
I'm sure a few weeks back it didn't say he won the WBA belt. So I'm going to go with Ortiz.
No, it was Marcus Madana.
Was it?
2014. Marcus Madana entered that fight as the regular sort of champion, but they got elevated up to super championship on the night they fought the first time.
But what about the Mosley fight? Mosley hadn't long beaten Margarito, did he? For the WBA title. So why wasn't that on the line?
Margarito was the WBO champion.
No, WBA, because maybe he had the WBA and IBF title.
Give me 1 second.
Margarito won and lost the WBO championship. He lost it to Paul Williams. Then he fought later on. He fought for the IBF belt and unified it against Miguel Cotto. So I'm sure that was,
This is good because if you're questioning this, that means other people will. So the Shea Mosley fight, because you can't go on BoxRec at the moment. The Shea Mosley fight was for no titles.
That's mad.
And the Marcus Medina was for.
What about can you check the Victor Ortiz fight?
Victor Ortiz was for the WBC.
Bloody hell. He had the WBA belt as well, because he beat. Did he have a WBA belt as well? Or did he have WBC?
No,
there's too many titles on it.
Well, the Shea Mosley, when he beat. Yeah, you are right. He did beat Antonio Margarito prior to Floyd Mayweather for the WBA belt, but that wasn't on the line for the Mayweather fight.
That's mad.
Yeah.
So Marcus Madana. Right. So I had 3 of the 4.
Yeah. So.
You have to give me that one.
No. Who was Sugar Ray Leonard? The penultimate question was, who was Sugar Ray Leonard scheduled to fight in 1982 when he discovered in training that he had a detached retina and retired for the first time? Now, this guy's name, for some reason, because I've been reading a lot in the lockdown, his name's been popping up a lot. And I always wonder what would have happened.
Was it a big name?
No. I just can't find any information on him.
Do you know what? There's one name might come to my head. I don't even know if he's in the same era. Larry Bonds. He might have already fought him.
It's not Larry Bonds.
And Kevin Howard, he already fought, didn't he? So afterwards, there
was 2 guesses. A contender called Roger Stafford.
All right.
So
okay.
I wonder what would have happened. So the last question was, although he is considered an all-time welterweight great, Sugar Ray Leonard only won 6 world welterweight title fights. Can you name 4 of the 6 fighters he beat in championship bouts? You just named one, unless I couldn't comment.
Well, I'm not going to put him in now. I've changed my mind. Right, so I'll go in order. So, Wilfred Benitez.
Boom.
He made a defense against look at that British guy. Do you know what? I'm writing down answers on you. I need my glasses. I can't read my own writing. Dave Boy Green. Roberto Duran.
3.
And Thomas Hitman Hearns.
Yeah, 4. And you already named Larry Bonds, and then there was Bruce Finch. But isn't that interesting that he only had 6 winning world title fights at welterweight, and yet when you think of him, you predominantly think of welterweight, and you just assumed he packed more fights into that career at that division.
But mind, did you know that could be the blueprint of these smart promoters? They might look at these boxers' records and think, they've made say 6 defenses and he had 3 or 4 good wins. Let's pad out the record and make it last longer. Give him the 3 or 4 good wins against great fighters, and then pad the rest out, like a Trinidad did, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah. So just a quick run through. You had correct answers, you had 1, 2, 3.
I'm claiming the Mayweather record.
Claim what you want. 4.
8 out of 10.
5, 6. Did you get Ted Kid Lewis? You didn't know.
No, I knew it. I talked about him back, but I didn't have his thing.
Well, you've lost your undisputed title, and you are now the WBA Super Champion. Right. 6 points.
I should have 7.
How?
I give you all the names for the Mayweather one.
It's you didn't.
It's just that the sanctioning bodies didn't sanction certain fights.
So 6. So hopefully tomorrow you're going to do better. All right, that's it for today's quiz. We'll be back again tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. We also have a weekly podcast. You can find the link for that in the description below, and some other links for other shows that we do and social media platforms that we are on. Don't forget, if you like the show, give us a thumbs up, and if you can, pop your score into the comments section, because every now and then we will be inviting subscribers to come on the show and challenge Aiden in a one-on-one battle. But to qualify for that, you're going to have to regularly post your scores and be a subscriber. We'll see you again tomorrow.